What's going on, everybody? This is Living in Arizona Now, and today we are going to talk about Arizona and does it have culture? So, for those of you who've been following me over on Island Hopper TV, you guys have seen that I have actually been going all around the country here. How many states have I gone to? I've gone to, started out in Texas, down in Dallas, went down to Florida, went down to North Carolina, Georgia, went to Atlanta, Washington, D.C., New York City, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee. Been to a lot of different places. And I got to compare the lifestyle of Arizona to the rest of the country. Right now, I am currently in, believe it or not, Missoula, Montana. I just got done being up in Whitefish and rode the Empire Builder from Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis through North Dakota into Montana. And as I get more west, I would say that definitely the culture in America is going to be in the East Coast. And the things that really stood out to me about the culture in America in general was sports. So that put me into a state of mind where I was comparing how our sports scene in Phoenix compares to the rest of the country. And I got to thinking about the Arizona Cardinals, the Phoenix Suns, who are currently in the playoffs right now against the Lakers. So I got to thinking about all that stuff. And I would say sports are not everything. Food is a big part of it. Chicago has a ton of culture. New York has culture. Phoenix is not a very cultural place. Thanks to everyone who already hit the like button. I see 5 of you guys. I'm actually having to stream from my phone here. I'm trying to actually see if I can even see the comments as they're coming in. But thanks to the 6 people who hit the like button. So I am excited to get home to Phoenix. I will say that. As I was thinking about this question, because people were asking me, where's the best place in the country? Where's the best place to live? And I was out in Washington, D.C. at a time, and I was thinking, hey, Washington, D.C. is a pretty nice place to live. But as time went by, I started to really think that Phoenix, Arizona, all things considered, I might just still be one of the best places in America to live. I will tell you where I would not live. Dallas. I would not live in New Orleans. No, I would not live in New Orleans. I would maybe consider living in the Panhandle. I would maybe consider living in Washington, D.C., but then again, it gets so cold. D.C. is a beautiful city. I don't think a lot of people realize that. I could not live in New York. No, you would not find me in New York City. I mean, I may be in Manhattan if my job was there, but that would be about it. Thanks to the 13 people who already smashed up the likes. As far as the other places go, Boston maybe, but it gets too cold. Chicago's a really cool place. I could maybe live in Chicago. Chicago seemed pretty good. You wouldn't find me in Cleveland. You wouldn't find me in. You would not find me in Milwaukee. Minneapolis was pretty decent. I thought Minneapolis exceeded my expectations. Minneapolis is a pretty nice city, believe it or not. Montana is beautiful. It's the Switzerland of America, by the way. But yeah, Chicago is really nice. But the places it's really hard for me. I think Phoenix, at the end of the day, really does kind of stand apart, probably because of the weather and just being a modern city. But Texas does not appeal to me. Texas does not appeal to me. One thing that's really interesting is, I'm just recently moving. I'm now moving from Desert Ridge back down to Tempe, and I was looking to buy a house maybe. Then I was looking to rent. It's not a rent. It's not a renter's market. If you own the property, it's a seller's market right now. And I was like, dang, man, it's so hard to find a place. But it's all over the country. It's like that. Home prices are up in New York. And everyone thought New York people were leaving. They thought there was an exodus out of New York. No, there's not. Florida is actually more affordable than Arizona. You know where the cheapest place to live, if you're looking for a really cheap place, I'll tell you right now, Alabama. The cheapest places that I heard were in Alabama. I heard people getting under $100,000. Margaret says, can't wait to move to the West Valley next month. CR says, I'm planning on moving to Orlando soon. Orlando is chaotic. I don't know if I could live in Orlando. It gets way too hot with the humidity. Although, summer in Arizona is coming up. But when it comes to the culture in Arizona, we do have that Western culture, and especially as you get up into the high country, up into the White Mountains, up onto the Mogollon Rim, Flagstaff, we do have culture. It's kind of like the culture I guess you would get out here in a place like Missoula. Missoula, Montana. Montana, I could see this. This would be a great setup for anyone looking for a great setup. Thanks to 15 people who hit the like button, we've now got more people watching. So here would be an ideal situation if you could do it. Phoenix in the winter. So Phoenix from middle October until middle of May, and then from middle of May in Montana until middle of October. That's how you do it. that's like the ideal situation. And you don't by moving to Phoenix, you don't completely get away from a winter, because we're going to get winter every once in a while. We get a little bit colder climate, like, it's going to be in the hundreds pretty much for the next 3 months out there. And, hopefully we don't go over 110 and we have a decent monsoon season. But, out here in Montana, it's just beautiful weather right now. In the winter, it's beautiful weather in Phoenix. Coming into the hottest part of the year, it's going to be crazy. But, yeah, back to the culture subject. I would say, yeah, we are lacking in culture in Phoenix. It's not all hunky-dory in Phoenix. I mean, there's a lot of really positive things. Like I said, it's still one of the most positive, or the experience in Arizona is still one of the most positive that you'll find in all the country, especially if you like desert and arid climates. That's what you're going to get in Arizona, right? But we do have some high country. I would say we are lacking in culture compared to back east. But the entire West really is lacking in culture compared to the East. We'll see. I think it's on us, our generation, to pave the way to create a culture, but we shall see. Thanks to everyone who already hit the likes. If you guys have any questions about my experience going through Montana, going through the Midwest, going through back east, feel free to ask me here. Charles says, wait, let me see here. I'm looking at some of the comments that came in. Let's see here. It's really odd doing a live feed from my cell phone here, because it doesn't quite work the same way that it does on a laptop. But if you guys ask me questions right here, I will be there to answer them. And you guys can come over to Island Hopper TV and watch the videos over there, because I have made so many darn videos over there. It's incredible. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can pin a comment. So that comment that I just posted is a link to Island Hopper. Now I can see some comments. Rob says, driving over to Bozeman for an August vacation. Yeah, I wanted to go to Bozeman from here, from Missoula, where I'm at right now. It would have been about a 3.5 hour drive. I had a driver who was going to do it for about $220. The problem with getting a rental car out here is it's not ideal. Hey, Carrie says, watched all your videos. Right on, right on. What was your favorite video, Carrie? The thing about getting a rental car right now is Hertz, Budget. They've basically sold out of all their rental cars, or they don't have very many rental cars, and they won't let you take it long distance and drop off. So then there's this app called Turo, Turo, and it basically allows a private car owner to rent you their car, and that's where the rental cars are right now. They're not at Budget, they're not at Hertz, they're not at Enterprise. I don't know if these rental car companies are going to go out of business, but they don't have the cars. And it's a really great opportunity for Turo to do a market share steal, because the only way I was able to get a rental car in Whitefish was on Turo. I got a really nice BMW SUV, a 2013 BMW. By the way, Germans, they over-engineer all their stuff. The whole mechanics of the entire BMW was nothing like a Ford, nothing like a Chevy. You had to like push different buttons and how you turn it on, and they call it German over-engineering. It's a real thing. But Turo is definitely where it's at for getting rental cars. But again, if I rented a car on Turo and I went to Bozeman, I'd have to go there and then come back, right? Whereas with Budget or Hertz, I just rent it here and then drop off at the other Hertz. At least that's how it used to be prior to this situation that we're in now, right? Drunken Chef says, hey, I need to get into what you do. I'm tired of this clock in, clock out routine. Yeah, you need to get into investing in like Bitcoin and digital assets. And it does take a little bit of luck, but it also takes a lot of patience. So you got to get into the stuff that's emerging. That's really where the opportunity is. So if something's like a trend and it's going up, and you get in and you invest early, even with this rental car thing. Although the rental car business, I don't know if that's going to be as easy to, because it's not digital. But I was thinking about getting into the rental car business. The only thing is I have to figure out where I'm going to keep a whole fleet of, I don't know, 5 or 10 cars. But the rental car business, I mean, I was like, you'll see in my videos coming up on Island Hopper from Whitefish, I talk about all of this stuff related to just the whole experience of traveling and trying to rent a car and get around. But I went up to Glacier National Park, saw a grizzly bear, a big old grizzly with cubs. I got some video of that. Lots of white-tailed deer. Those grizzlies are eating really good up there because the white-tailed deer are really slow, really dumb. And I mean, these white-tailed deer, they get like right next to you, really slow. They just start eating, and you'll be walking up, and it's like they don't even have any awareness. They're like this. And I'm like, no, I'm over here, dude. You know, it's just the white-tailed deer. I'm sure the grizzlies are eating really good out there, actually. Castro9 says, I'm finally here to crush up the likes in person. Love the videos, Jeff. I'll be in Arizona for the first time in July. Can't wait. Right on. Where are you coming from? Margaret, if you have enough cars, Turo can be very profitable. Yeah, I have a friend who's making some money with Turo right now. I mean, it's all about like ways to make money on the side, but you don't want to get into something like it's just going to completely tie you down. Kerry Kirby says, moving from Chicago to Show Low in 10 days. Wow, that's going to be a major shock for you. Chicago's a big old city, right? Show Low is not a big old city at all. That's going to be a big shock. Brian says Sedona is a great place. You know, a great place that a lot of people I think is running under the radar that's up and coming in Arizona. I mean, I need to make an up and coming cities video for 2021 because I've got a pretty good idea of those cities. I would tell you right now, Prescott, Cottonwood, Lake Havasu City, definitely some up and coming cities to add to the list. Obviously, you still have Oro Valley, you have some suburbs around Phoenix, but my friend and I, we were just talking about what could be the next Arizona boomtown. You guys won't believe it. This is what we kind of agreed on. Tubac. You guys are probably like, what's Tubac? Tubac? Yeah, Tubac. I wasn't kidding. It's down by Tumaca-Corey. If you guys go down past Tucson towards Nogales, there's a little town there called Tubac. It's actually along the De Anza Trail. If you guys get a chance, go down there. Arizona Kid says, hey, buddy, I'm an ATV trail ride channel, born and raised in Arizona. Parents had a dairy farm in Chandler. Nice. David says, love Show Low. Ended up there on accident one time, a road trip years ago. I would say Show Low could even be considered an up-and-coming town. But, yeah, I really do need to make that video. Up-and-coming cities or towns in Arizona. Reason is because people want to know where there's alternatives to these big old massive cities. You know, you want a small town, but you don't want too small of a town. You move out to a small town for, you know, you live out there unless you're like the Unabomber or something, you know, and you just hate people. You don't want to live in too small of a town. You want to have a town with some of the connectivity. You know, it's always nice to be near an airport if you need to get out and do something. It's always nice to be able to go to a building supply like Lowe's or Home Depot. So John B says Payson or Wickenburg, both are fine. Payson's going to be a lot colder than Wickenburg. Wickenburg's a lot closer to Phoenix. Scott Glick said, Jeff, head down to Rocky Point in the near future, man. It was awesome. So much development going on there. Yeah, I haven't been to Rocky Point in a long time. I love Mexico. I did see there was a ton of development going on in Rocky Point. I used to go down there all the time. But I did go down to Mexico here recently, as you know, to the Baja. Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, Todos Santos is really nice. I can't wait to go back down there. There's another town, I don't know if you guys know of this one, Scott, San Felipe. San Felipe is just, it's kind of like, if you go in between Puerto Penasco and Mexicali, but you go down the Baja, there's a small town, it looks like on the map, that it's completely desert. It's called San Felipe. But yeah, I would like to go down to Puerto Penasco again here. Haven't been there in like 15 years. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how much, it would be interesting. I used to go over to Cholla Bay, JJ's Cantina, So I'd be interested to see how much that area built up. I know that the area where they're building most of those resorts, that was where we used to camp. You would just bring a shovel, dig a hole in the ground, build a fire, and camp right there, and they had tide pools. But nowadays, I think they've built a bunch of resorts right there. Court says, finally watching you live, just moved to Chandler a few weeks ago. We love it, but are eventually wanting to build in a smaller community. Are you looking to stay in Phoenix, or are you looking to get out of the Phoenix area? Because there's a lot of different places you can consider if you're trying to build someplace. I mean, there's towns that are close to the cities, but they're not in the city. So I think that's what a lot of people really want, is they want to live close to a city, like 45 minutes, 30 minutes, but they also want to be in this like rural environment. They don't want to be 3 hours, 4 hours away from Phoenix. They want to be close like that. Court says somewhere on the outskirts of Phoenix Metro. Yeah, so some places that you might consider for that would be Gold Canyon, Anthem. So Gold Canyon, that's a good one. You could move out to Florence, but you know, Santan Valley, that's growing and it's, you know, it's hot. It's not ideal. Gold Canyon would be a better one. Apache Junction, Anthem, New River is growing a lot. North Peoria is pretty good. I don't know if you guys have been out towards North Peoria out there by Lake Pleasant. If you guys get a chance this summer, go out to Lake Pleasant, Scorpion Bay. They've got a lot of cool stuff going on out there. And if you actually wanted to go to Canyon Lake and ride that ferry tour out there, it's pretty good. Scott says Queen Creek. My husband works over in Gold Canyon, AJ, Queen Creek, love those areas. Yeah, Gold Canyon is where it's at. If you were to consider, Tucson has some pretty cool areas. A lot of people, they like Oracle or Oro Valley, but if you go a little bit further and you wrap around, you come into this town called Oracle. I think Oracle's close enough to Tucson, to Oro Valley, to get the modern conveniences, but it's far enough out there to be like where you're going to have javelinas and mountain lions and bobcats possibly come and drink out of your fountain, right? Arizona Kid says Anthem in Florence. Yeah, I mentioned Anthem on this channel before, and someone said there's no Anthem in Florence, and I was like, yeah, no, there is an Anthem too in Florence. It's there, you know, there really is. I even heard they were going to build an Anthem up in Prescott at some point. Prescott, if you guys get up to Prescott Valley, if you guys look at the way they did the freeway system prior to the financial meltdown of 2007, Prescott was the next primed metro area. They were building highway systems, like actual interstate highway systems for growth to Prescott. And then when that happened, it kind of slowed down. But I don't forget the fact that Prescott was really next on the list. My friend, he says that Cottonwood, he thinks Cottonwood's the new boomtown. And it really could happen. You know, you get the right developers out there, anything's possible, right? But that's the Verde Valley. So, I mean, these are all things to consider. Verde Valley is maybe 2 hours from Phoenix. It's not quite close enough. Justin Duomo says, Jeff, is Tempe a good spot for families with kids, or is it more of a party city for college students? It's a party town. If you want to move close to Tempe for kids, go to Chandler or Gilbert. Albuquerque maybe, but Chandler or Gilbert. Drunker says, Great Lake Shore camping spot. Whew, in Montana, they got them all over the place. Montana is America's Switzerland. That's why you guys want to go over to Island Hopper TV and watch my Montana videos, because I'm going to show you guys Glacier, and I'm going to show you guys Whitefish, and I'm going to show you guys Missoula. I didn't get down to, you know, Helena or Billings or Bozeman, but out here is America's Switzerland, for real. But in Arizona, they do have Lake Shore camping. You're going to find that on the Mogollon Rim. So when you go up to the Mogollon Rim, right when you get up there, it's a left turn, right across the street. So you'll know you're on the top of the Mogollon Rim because you'll be at the top of the rim. You go left, and you follow that down. It turns into a dirt road. Look on a map. There's about 7 or 8 different lakes out there that you can camp on. And it's pretty cool because even out here in Montana, when I was out in Glacier, you could hear the wolves and you could hear the eagles over the lake. You'd be on a lake out here out here in Montana, and you'd hear the noise that a loud eagle makes. That noise, it's just like a magical. It's literally a magical forest noise. They even get those out in Arizona, where you can hear like the noises of the wilderness. That's why I really love the wilderness. But I would say camping, You can get some like desert camping. If you want desert camping on a lake, check out Apache Lake. That's the one just below Roosevelt Lake. So you go up to Roosevelt Lake, you go past the dam, and then you get in the dirt road area, and there's just camping down there. But that's where all the that's where all the Arizona locals, like the old timer locals, are gonna be. So, you know, you're gonna be dealing with a little bit of that. But and I don't know, I don't exactly know how to put that, but it's not a bad thing. It's just you're gonna be dealing with like the desert rats. That's what we call them, desert rats. You can also get some pretty good beach camp. See, it's in the summertime. I don't recommend camping in the desert like that. But if you were to, another place that people like to go is, you could go up to Greer. That's going to be cold though. Even in the summertime, it's cold. They have this place in North Canyon, Grand Canyon, North Rim, Jacobs Lake. That area has some camping. That's, you know, in the summertime, it'll be 115 degrees in Phoenix. You go up North Rim, it'll be 37 degrees when you wake up. It'll be 115 in Phoenix and 37 degrees on the North Rim of the Grand Canyon and the Kaibab. So keep that in mind. Johnny Bill says, is Payson Pine Strawberry a good place to live? As a 30-year-old new to Arizona, I saw elk there on Saturday. Yeah, it's good if you really like being isolated and outside of everything. For me, it's good as an escape for a week or two, but to full-time be out there in the wilderness like that in Pine, no. If I wanted that kind of experience, I would recommend Prescott, but it's going to cost more. Arizona Kid, watch show Yellowstone and you'll want to move to Montana. Yeah, Montana is great. Everyone, please respect fire restrictions in Arizona. We are in a bad drought. That's true, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people who watch this channel, I think they get the point that, like, you know, when you start a fire, you want to make sure you put it out. You know, especially if you leave the campsite. That's even if they're going to allow you to do fires, because we had such a bad fire season last year. We couldn't even do fires. And sometimes it can happen on accident. Scott says he loves to go shooting in Queen Creek. Drunken Chef says, cool, thanks. Open Road, all the culture and history of Arizona is down in Tucson and Southern Arizona. Southern Arizona is literally the Wild West. The rest of Arizona is new with very little history. Yeah, you can definitely get some Wild West in Bisbee. You can get some Wild West in Tombstone, but they also have Jerome. Prescott's got a lot of history. Can't forget about the history in Prescott. You can get some good history even up there on the Navajo Nation. There's Oatman, which is a town tucked away. There's Wickenburg, got some history at Vulture City, the Vulture City mine, the ghost town. There's some history out there in the superstitions if you want to learn about it. Globe Miami has some history, but Tucson does have some pretty good history. Tucson will make you want to go further into Mexico. That's what happens when you go into Tucson. You go to Tucson, you start hearing about, you know, old Arizona, old Mexico, New Mexico, if you want to call it that. And you get out there and you're like, I wonder what it's like just beyond the border. And that's when you start going into Mexico. What's going on, Arizona Insider? Prescott was first state capital, lots of history. Yeah, you'll go rock into some of those saloons right there in Whiskey Row. You walk right into the saloon and you'll see Big Nose Kate. You'll see Doc Holliday. You'll see Wyatt Earp, I think, right there on the wall, because they all used to go out there. Prescott has an underground. They have an underground. You'll see the big old, I think it's the old Capitol building, but it's more or less the courthouse nowadays in Prescott, right there on Whiskey Row. And there's an underground tunnel under there. I don't think you can go under it. I think maybe on a tour. Ramses Rivera says, hello from Yuma. I got to get down to Yuma. I haven't made a video on Yuma yet. I did do the Lake Havasu video. Everyone loved the Lake Havasu video. Like, that video is like blowing up, man. It's taken off. Everyone saw that Lake Havasu video. You wouldn't want to go to Lake Havasu right now unless you were definitely going to get in the water. If you're going to Lake Havasu right now, it's going to be hot until September. Lake Havasu is a spring break destination for real. But people loved that Lake Havasu video. Lake Havasu is becoming something, guys. I say that because Yuma is just south of Lake Havasu. So it's kind of comparable. Hello from Coolidge, just moved out here with wife. Cheap homes, not so far from Chandler, about 25 minutes. Coolidge is very cheap, very cheap. The people that I did talk to that went down to Coolidge, they said, you know, hey, I went to one place. I went to the first place in Arizona that I didn't really like, Coolidge. That's what they said. They said they finally went to a place in Arizona they didn't like, and it was Coolidge. The thing about Coolidge is it's up and coming. Basically, there's cheap land there, so it's going to change. I mean, where it's at now and where it's going, two totally different things. Hi from Canada. Nice, Norm. Welcome. What are your thoughts on St. George? I know it's not Arizona, but I'm curious about your opinion on it. I have to get up to Zion, or Zion, and St. George, also Moab. I haven't been there in a long time. I know it's very beautiful. It kind of reminds me of Sedona. St. George does. You're talking St. George, Utah. Yeah, St. George is nice. If anything, there's so much that gives illusion of none. Let's see here. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to pack my bags, and I'm actually headed back down to Phoenix. Today, I'll be back. Yeah, Zion, I would love to get into Zion. Just so you know about the 5 national parks. There's 5 national parks that require advanced ticketing to get in nowadays. Glacier. So you can't just drive to Glacier and get in Glacier. Especially if you want to go to Lake McDonald. You have to do these advanced tickets. They're like $2, but they're hard to get. You have to go on like recreation.gov. Zion is one of those other parks. Yosemite, and there's like 2 others. I think the Smoky Mountains. Thankfully, Grand Canyon's not one of them. Thankfully, Yellowstone's not one of them. But if you guys plan to go to some national parks this year like I am, yeah, that would be the ones to consider. Yellowstone. But Glacier, if you can get into Glacier, if you can get the ticket. I'm not driving, I'm actually flying. But yeah, it'll be fun. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And we're going to start making more of these. I know it's early, but good to see y'all. Subscribe to Island Hopper TV if you guys want to see the videos from across United States that I went on. I put the link at the top of the comments here.